Hello, Brigadiers and Brigadettes and hockey fans alike. This is your captain speaking. Welcome to my channel. Now let's jump into some hockey content. Ask and you shall receive. We are actually going to be doing the 5 Pierre-Luc Dubois mock trades. These are going to be coming from Sportsnet. I know a lot of you did seem pretty excited about some mock trades we could do for Pierre-Luc Dubois. And obviously I do think he's going to get traded pretty soon, unfortunately. So I said, let me just, these can backfire so quick if somebody makes them that's a YouTuber. So I was like, let me see if I can find some mock trades, and we're going to talk about them, and then I'll give you my take. Also, before I start this, please, here's what we're going to do. If you give me a shout out where you post my account link or something about my account to your personal account, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, and if you send it back to me, I will message you. We can talk about whatever hockey thing you want, as long as you provide proof that you did that, and then I'll also shout you out in my next video. So just, get my YouTube link for my channel, and then just put it on your personal account, and you can just say, hey, if you want some quality hockey content, please, subscribe here, or subscribe here if you want, and like I said, if you provide proof of that, I will, we can talk about one thing, whatever you want, and it won't just be like you ask one question and I respond back with one message. We'll go back and forth if you'd like, and again, we'll give you a shout out. And then with that being said, I did want to talk about one thing. I was obviously putting out more videos because I didn't have classes. We were on winter break for college, but I'm starting classes again. I'm going to be putting out 3 minimum like I was before winter break, but we were originally thinking about doing another YouTube for other sports as well. We're not going to do that. We're going to invest all our time into this. And at minimum, there's going to be 3 videos. And at max, there could be as many as 5 in a week. It just depends on how busy I am. So expect 3. But I promise, if I have time, I will provide more videos. So understand, there will be 3 guaranteed every week. But there could be more. So I'm looking forward. And if it gets closer to 1,000 and we start making money off of this, I'll be able to invest more time into this. So anyway, with that being said, sorry for the long introduction. Let's get on into these 5 Pierre-Luc Dubois mock trades. Provided by Sportsnet. So the first trade is the New York Rangers get Pierre-Luc Dubois. And then the Columbus Blue Jackets get Kaapo Kakko, Ryan Strome, and a 2020 second round pick. For the Rangers, they get a second line center to pair behind Mika Zibanejad. And meanwhile, the Blue Jackets would get a young potential star in Kaapo, and we would be able to probably put him on the third line, likely behind Bjorkstrand, Atkinson, Chilton a little bit. Strome would replace Dubois, and we'd either have him probably on the first or second line, depending on where they put Domi, while they would also get a good pick to build off in the future. My verdict, while the deal is tempting due to the potential of Kaapo to turn into a big name, I just wouldn't pull the trigger maybe this season, maybe next year. If Kaapo doesn't pan out, we'd have a bust, a third-line center on a deep team, and then a pick. While it does provide value, it's not guaranteed to turn out productive. Meanwhile, Dubois would likely go on to spend the majority of his prime in New York and play in a big market team and probably, make some deep playoff runs with Panarin and Zibanejad. It would pay off potentially, but at the time, it's just too rich for me to do because, again, we don't know if Kaapo will pan out. I think he could, and I think he has the potential to, but as of right now, I'm just not sure. Now, the second trade that we're going to do here is the Los Angeles Kings get Pierre-Luc Dubois, and the Columbus Blue Jackets get Alex Turcotte and Arthur Kaliev. I apologize if I said that wrong. I heard a broadcaster say that when I was watching World Juniors, so I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. And then we would also get a second-round pick. It's pretty obvious as to why the Kings would do this. If they pulled the trigger, they would automatically have Dubois and Byfield as their top 2 centers. Dubois is a guaranteed thing, and would likely be the first line center until Quinton felt ready to be the top line center. And Byfield obviously hasn't played a game yet, but I think he's going to be guaranteed to be a good player. For the Blue Jackets, they would get 2 major prospects that the Kings have and value extremely, and I think those could be huge steals. Turcotte could be a future top line center in the league, or at the very worst, a second line center, and Kaliev could be a playmaker. He's tallied 200 points in the past 2 seasons in the OHL, goal scorer big time, 95 goals, 105 assists, while also having a good World Juniors appearance. Also, the pick would be nice. My verdict, while I don't like taking gambles on players, these seem to be like some of the cream of the crop talent for the Los Angeles Kings. So I'd do this trade, because I think at the very least these two players' productions would match Pierre-Luc Dubois' talent, and then again we'd have that second round pick, which would be nice. So I know that I just said I wouldn't do it for the Rangers, but I do think for this I would. Now this trade I thought about before, but I actually thought of a scenario kind of like this, not exactly, but we're going to talk about the one that Sportsnet provided. So, to the Vegas Golden Knights, the Golden Knights get Pierre-Luc Dubois and Jonas Korpisalo, and the Blue Jackets get Cody Glass, Peyton Krebs, I believe is his name, Marc-Andre Fleury, and a 2021 second-round pick. The Vegas Golden Knights would have to, obviously, give up some pieces, but with this, they wouldn't have to wait on Cody Glass to produce. They would have two top six centers with Pierre-Luc Dubois and William Karlsson. This team wants to win the Cup literally right now, and I think that this makes sense because if they get Dubois, they've already got a guaranteed, at worst, second-line center on a deep team, but he's a very, good, center that will have the potential to be a top center in the league, I think. Well, they also get guaranteed quality goaltending from Corpy. For the Blue Jackets, again, it's a gamble, and they'd be relying on Glass to develop, also having to wait on Krebs to develop. He's only 19. It's a big gamble that could pay off, but again has a lot of risk involved that could easily backfire. They'd have to pay Marc-Andre Fleury 2 more seasons at $7 million per season unless they figured out a way to get him off the roster, and then a second-round pick would be nice. My verdict, this is a similar thing to the Kings deal, but at the same time, I'm just going to say I don't think I'd do it. Glass had some issues, I think, last year, and obviously I know he's developing, but statistically, with the advanced stats, he had some issues, and I know he was growing, but he did play with some good players, and Krebs, I don't know what he's going to turn out to be. It's just a little bit too much of a gamble for me, and also, I don't want to trade a good thing away where we have Korpisalo, and then we trade him, get Fleury falls off a cliff, makes a bunch of money. It's tempting, but I wouldn't pull the trigger. I know it's kind of like a weird thing to say that I'd do it for the Kings, but not for them. Now, this is probably the biggest thing that we can talk about here, and that is the Winnipeg Jets get Pierre-Luc Dubois and the Columbus Blue Jackets get Patrick Laine. I know that's a pretty big trade. The Jets would automatically have a deep center group, and this would give them time to develop Cole Perfetti, who honestly has one of the best, best last names in the league, and I don't think that'll take too long for Perfetti to develop. Columbus would get one of the best goal scorers in the game, and it would bring in one of the most exciting players into a small market, which obviously it wouldn't be a Panarin-esque type thing, but he can score goals. My verdict, I like this trade, but at the end, I'd worry that we'd end up with the exact same situation with Laine, although I do think he'd get some top power play minutes, which he would like. Ultimately, if the trade did occur, I would like the Jets to send over a maybe first or second round pick, which they wouldn't probably do with Laine, and we'd have to figure out how to move somebody over to left wing, which is something that I've thought about before. If we got a right winger in any of these trades, who would move over to left? Cam probably would be the guy, because Cam can play on that left side. Actually, if you watch that Nashville game from last night, he played on the left side. Didn't start out there a lot of times, but he would, move over, he would transition, and it was just, he had a few good shots from the left side as well. And obviously you have Bjorkstrand, but I think Bjorkstrand will stay closer to the right side. I assume Atkinson, due to the fact no one would move him in a contract, would stay as well. So I think it would be interesting because Cam would obviously move over to the left side because we can't move his contract, and Bjorkstrand and Laine are definitely going to play on the right side. I would love to see the swap, but again, a 1-for-1 wouldn't be ideal because even though Laine scored more goals, he doesn't provide the same value that Dubois does. And now the third and final trade, give me a second here because I always say this player's name wrong. I love saying his name, but I always say it wrong. So the Montreal Canadiens would get Pierre-Luc Dubois, and the Columbus Blue Jackets would get Jesperi Kotkaniemi. I hope I said that right, but I'm pretty sure I said it wrong. It's definitely a tongue twister. And then they would also get Ryan Poehling and Paul Byron. The Canadiens would likely do this to have a great 1-2 punch of Nick Suzuki and Pierre-Luc Dubois, while also making them less reliant on being forced to pay up for Phillip Danault. Obviously, he's going to look for probably big money at the end of the season. He is a unrestricted free agent, which means he's allowed to go wherever he wants at the end of the season. The Blue Jackets would be given 2 players that have underperformed, but do have potential, while also getting a 31-year-old fourth-line winger whose better days are behind him. My verdict, this is really a big pass for me, as while the potential for Kotkaniemi and Poehling are tempting, it's just not enough for me to pull the trigger on this. I have a feeling Montreal would want to do this trade, probably to get the issues of the Max Domi trade to die down a little bit, even though Josh Anderson has performed these first 2 games. But those are my 5 trades. Let me know what you think of those 5 trades. Let me know which one you think is the best of those 5 trades. And we will be, obviously, putting out another video tomorrow talking about the 2 games against the Nashville Predators for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Everybody stay safe, have a great day, and stay away from COVID, alright? Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes, and hockey fans in general. This is your captain signing off. Have a great week.